Alright everyone, hello, welcome back to episode 5 of Kerbalistic. We're launching off the episode with a Minmus Explorer. Actually, no, this is our Mun Explorer. This is an unmanned version of the mission we sent last episode that landed Jeb on the Mun, but we are sending it unmanned because we have a contract to rescue a Kerbal today. Yeah, he's stranded in lunar orbit, so we're gonna go send this up and rescue him. Pretty much the same thing, just slapped on a probe core at the top and called it a day. Here's us just getting on our translunar injection burn, and everything is going well. No failures yet, hopefully, crossing my fingers that that doesn't happen. But we do make it to the Mun, we do get ourselves into an orbit, and we do rendezvous successfully. So here's just a montage of us doing that, and we get up right close to this, hulk or debris that this guy's in. He's not in much, it's just this destroyed command pod, but we get him out and he flies his jetpack over to our ship and we make it successfully to safety. But we also included enough fuel in this thing to actually land on the surface, so we're gonna just do that really quick and plant a flag because that is another contract for us. So here we are going down to the surface. Unfortunately, the spot I chose has a lot of slopes and it's not very even, the terrain, so the first attempt we kind of just tip over. It does not work at all. I use some more ignitions to get up the mountain here, but I'm really burning through the ignitions I have left on this engine at a alarming rate, honestly. I didn't think about it at the time, but looking back at this footage and knowing what happens, yeah, this is not going to end well. We're running out of ignitions. So we're coming close to the next landing site that I've picked out here. This looks relatively flat, but of course it is not as much as I thought it was, and we do run out of ignition, so we start sliding down the hill very worryingly. Don't have the RCS power to stop us, but luckily it does flatten out just a bit at the bottom here for us to stop. So we get, I believe his name is Leonard out, and he is going to plant the flag, complete the contract, and think about how to get out of the predicament he's in, because he has got a spacecraft tipped over on the surface here, and if he doesn't right it, there's going to be no way to escape. Luckily, he's able to repair the engine, so we do have a functioning engine again, but without it pointing upright, there's not going to be much hope of him getting off the surface. My first attempt was to go over the crevice there and trying to hop ourselves up into the air. That doesn't work. Going up the hill fast doesn't work, obviously, and we only have a pod which runs out of electricity. Yeah, it's just a disaster. Leonard tragically is lost in space, so we are going to ground that lander again. We don't want to fly the those small landing gears on the Mun like that. The slopes are just too steep. But yeah, moving on, we're going to improve the reliability of some of our new parts, because we are going to build a new rocket to do our exploration. We're not going to fly that old one again. It's just too dangerous, so we're not going to do that. We need rockets with redundancy. So we are testing these engines, fuel tanks, and solid rocket boosters, and the end result is this, the Minmus X. Yes, we are going to Minmus today with Valentina launching off this just massive rocket, 2.5 meter parts for the win with those solid rocket boosters on the side. I gotta love how just cool those solid rocket boosters are. I'm glad we can incorporate it into the design. I remember the old textures for those things didn't look as cool as they do now, so pretty cool using them. But here we are flying up into orbit. Valentina excited at being the first Kerbal to land on Minmus. Hopefully, that's the plan. So we go up here, deploy our cool fairing. It goes off splendidly, I guess. Yeah, splendidly. That's a very nice adjective. Yep, and we're just pushing our way onto orbit, I guess, here. Not really too much to talk about, except for the reusability. Yes, this is our first reusable rocket. We've got a probe core in the first stage, and we're going to fly it all the way down with some parachutes. So this is a huge deal for us because this rocket is like 40 or 50 grand for us, so it's not cheap at all, and recovering this saves us like 10 grand, I believe. So that's a huge cut to our savings there, so really big win recovering those boosters. But here we are, just doing our Minmus injection burn, and it goes well. And you may notice here that, yes, we are doing it kind of like an Apollo-style mission. We don't have a dedicated lander, that's our command pod, but we need the life support boat, I guess, to get all the way out there safely. So Valentina Kerman docking to this just kind of service passenger bay thing that is pressurized, so she can just relax in there while the rocket flies all the way up to Minmus. So it's great for Valentina just to relax in that little cabin. It gets a little cramped in that unpressurized can that she's stuffed into. But yep, we do make it to Minmus, and we get a beautiful shot of us orbiting here, so really great news for us. Now it is time for the first landing on the surface by any Kerbal nuts. We're going to go for the flats because we are kind of traumatized with slopes at this point. Going to land on the surface here. Everything looks great. Hopefully our engine doesn't die, or else we'll be in huge trouble, but I don't think that's going to happen because we haven't done it yet, but later in the episode I figured that making the engines higher quality, you get more ignitions, and it's going to be more reliable, so why not do it? It just costs a few extra 100 Kerbucks, I guess. So yep, anyways, we've planted the flag, we've done the science on the ground, and we are doing spins. Yeah, Valentina Kerman excited that she is the first Kerbal to step foot on this minty body. Now look at that, we are already going. We didn't spend too long on the surface, just waited for the mothership to just do like a one orbit, and we come up and dock with it. Not much to be said, but yes, I do love the docking of these crafts. It's so cool to just like bring your lifeboat along and whatever, and Kerbalism is a really cool mod. I really enjoy playing with it. You guys should definitely give it a try if you haven't yet, but it is for the hardcore player. I mean, just radiation, all these things that can kill you, so. Yep, here's us escaping back to Kerbin. We did do a little deorbit burn to send that upper stage into Minmus. But oh yes, we also have a solar storm occurring right now, so Valentina Kerman unfortunately just went from like 4% radiation over her lifetime to 16%. So yeah, she got a few x-rays on this mission. That coronal mass ejection just really wasn't enough for even the shielding to really stop. Get a bit of overheating here, but we just selected the right enough path to actually survive this re-entry. So Valentina Kerman, against all odds, against the coronal mass ejection, against the lingering fact that we could have an engine failure, and against the brutal re-entry, does make it back in one piece. So huge mission for us. We get a ton of money, and we are off sending another mission to Minmus already. Now this is the I believe I called this the Minmus Imager. This is just a big relay satellite and ScanSat satellite. It's kind of a multi-purpose mission here. We're just sending it off to Minmus to not only complete our ScanSat contracts that we have, but also just as a really high-powered relay. We got like 6 of those high-gain antennas on there, so a lot of transmission power right there. And you gotta admit, just like right here where these Ferrams go off, that was so cool. I really liked that when I saw that. So yeah, pretty cool launch. Go off to Minmus without a hitch, nothing goes wrong, and we before we actually get there, we send another Minmus X mission. This is the Minmus 11, and we are going to try and rescue a Kerbal on the surface of Minmus. So yeah, just slapped another probe body on there, and we're going to use that Minmus Imager as a relay. So that's going to provide all the signal that we need to get down to the surface and rescue the Kerbal. And again, we reuse the first stage, so more money for us, of course. Here's our trans-Minmus injection burn. Everything goes well. And I'll show you the docking, of course, because it won't be a complete Minmus mission without these dockings. I love these. I love how just like routine this is already getting to. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. We make it to Minmus with this Imager ScanSat satellite relay thing. You can see how many dishes there are. And we're just gonna scan the surface. Everything goes well. Look at all that data flowing in. Brilliant. And this is gonna be the relay again for the Minmus 11 that's coming in now. And we also have a contract to rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit of Minmus, so we're just gonna stop this kind of just next to the Minmus Imager and complete that contract, get some money. because we need all the money we can. We're trying to upgrade the R&D right now, which is 900,000 Kerbucks. Very expensive. But as you can see, unfortunately, we used up too many ignitions and we have a critical failure on the spacecraft. Fortunately, we don't have anyone inside. It's just unmanned right now, so we'll have to send up another one of those and go rescue the Kerbal, because luckily he can stay on the surface when he's unloaded for quite some time. But that is for a future mission. Right now, we're going to rescue some Kerbals a little closer to home using the Salus vehicle. Yes, this is named after the Roman god of safety, Salus. So we're just sending it up here. We're actually using some new parts that we've never used before, that kickback solid rocket motor, and we also have this, I believe it's the Ant or Spark engine up above. And that's just our return stage. We don't need it for this mission since it's just LKO, but for other Kerbals that are stranded in higher orbits, we're going to need it. So we get a scientist. She goes into the Salus and makes its way. She makes her way back to the planet. Everything is going great. Here we are, just re-entering. I really like this launch vehicle, using just like a Ares 1 style vehicle. That's kind of what I went for. And we actually get really close to the Space Center here, just using some monopropellant to get ourselves over the mountain, which we do safely. And we're launching our next vehicle. We included a larger fuel tank for the upper stage this time, just so we can get some reliability on that. Definitely going to use that fuel tank in the future, so might as well get the reliability up while we can. We do our injection burn to rendezvous with the orbit here, and you can see this space agency has just stranded their astronauts in the middle of Kerbin's radiation belt. So good thing we sent this thing unmanned, and good thing we've included shielding on this. So yeah, let's get them into the canopy or the cockpit here before you're exposed to too much radiation, because we are in the radiation belt, which is a little worrying. Again, we get pretty close to the Space Center here. Fly right over. We're been an inclination, so we kind of go a little bit north, but everything is well, and we make a safe touchdown. I believe this is another scientist, and yeah, so we got 2 scientists, and not including Bob, who is our orange suit scientist, which we will try not to kill. We do not want to kill the orange suit guys. Those are the OGs, I guess you can say. But here's our final launch of the episode, another Salus that we're going to send up to another highly eccentric, well, not a highly eccentric orbit, just a high altitude orbit, I guess you can say, and rescue our other Kerbal. We do lose the engine on there, but fortunately we have that return stage, which has enough delta V to slow down a little bit, but not quite enough to actually completely slow down and make it safely back. So we're going to use the EVA pack here to complete the rest of the maneuver, because there's 500 meters per second in the Kerbal's EVA pack. We used about half of that to rendezvous, and we used the fuel on board the spacecraft to make it back down safely. So redundancy for the win. Thank goodness we had that engine, or else our pilot here would have been stranded. So yeah, pretty great episode. Unfortunately, we did lose Leonard, so big loss for us there, but we did rescue 3 other Kerbals. And I'm going to show you guys here some of the build points that we've got going on, and what our tech tree looks like. But I guess that's all we got for today, guys. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for future Kerbalistic videos. Guys, I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.